Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, we're going to talk about the 3 trades that I've taken so far this week on Tesla. Tesla has definitely given us some great opportunities this week, some big volatility, big upside on Monday, some decent downside today. I've taken decent advantage of this volatility on Tesla, a washout long trade yesterday, early morning trade, the same exact strategy today, but the one that really is upsetting me right now is a trade that I missed to the downside. Today, I was looking for a rejection of a key 1188 level on Tesla to play it to the downside. I had it all planned out, talked about it in the pre-market, even talked about it in the chat intraday, and I just had a little bit too tight of a stop loss, and it took me out of this perfect trade, and I want to go ahead and highlight that trade today. We are going to talk about the 2 winners, but we're going to focus on the loser that I took today and how I missed this opportunity, even though I was right about it, even though I was looking at this opportunity all throughout the day, but my execution was just a little bit off. I want to touch on this because I think it's important for you guys watching to learn from my mistake and hopefully make it right in the future. So let's go ahead and jump into it today, guys. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay tuned for more videos, and of course, press the bell down below so that you guys know every single time that I go live in the pre-market starting at 8 a.m. Eastern. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and start this video off with the 2 winners, and then we'll get into the losing trade, which I'm going to really break down the losing trade because I think that one is the most important to review. So both of the winners that I took today were both washout longs. What I mean by this is a pullback early morning to some pre-market support, a nice structural zone, and then you start to see that really quick turnaround. It washes out, and you long it back to the upside. We've seen this quite a bit on Tesla. I've taken advantage of it yesterday, and I took very nice advantage of it today as well. So going onto your screen, guys, here is Tesla yesterday. This is the 1-minute chart, and I'm going to show you the washout long that I got into. So this is pre-market, this is market open, and what you guys can see is early morning, we did get that push lower. Now, where did we get that push lower? What level was I watching early morning? I was watching this 1137, 1138 level. This is that pre-market high where I wanted to see if we could go ahead and get a pullback to it and then long it off that push. Now, what you're going to see when we get into the second trade, it's literally the exact same formation. So if I zoom in here, now that we know that 1138 level, what you guys are going to see, we'll go ahead and zoom in, and I'm going to pull up my actual orders here. So zooming in, looking at this price action, and then going ahead and pulling in my trades. Here we go, guys. So here are all my trades on Tesla so far this week. I've taken a total of 3 trades on Tesla, 3 of them in Interactive Brokers, and then 1 more in my E-Trade account. These 3, we're going to go over 2 of them here in Interactive Brokers. This top one here was just a loss that I took today. Just a pretty ugly trade. Tried to chase it, was in it for about a minute, and just took a small loss on it really quickly. Not going to cover that one today, but there it is for transparency reasons. 2 of these are the washouts, and then we'll go over to the E-Trade account where I took the downside play that I actually missed today. So here is E-Trade, and here's the first trade that I took. So this was yesterday at 9:31 and 39 seconds. So that right here is on this 9:31 candle here on Thinkorswim. So right here on this 9:31 candle, why did I get in on that 9:31 candle? What I was looking for was the pullback to that previous structural. And then when I started to see that wick move higher and I started to see some strength come in, I went ahead and took 1 contract of the 1,200 calls for about $20 per contract. It was about a 5-6 minute trade. Went ahead and got out at 9:37 in 50 cents, which was basically at the end of this candle right here. So a nice little push. Nothing crazy, just a nice little washout long opportunity. Made about $100 on that trade. Of course, if I scale it up, would have been a nice one. But just kept it low, kept it, simple. 1 contract, keeping the size relatively small, getting my feet under me here early into 2022, just making sure I start to get these wins under my belt. So a nice little trade there, little washout long. That was the first trade yesterday. What we're going to look at is the second trade, which we will go to today, and it is a very, very similar setup. So what I was watching here, 1188, the reason I was watching that level is actually if we go to the 4-hour chart and we go out to 1188, let me go ahead and remove this. Let me go ahead and remove these gray areas here on the charts to make this a little bit prettier. 1188 was a key level that the market was, that Tesla was holding right around here. So 1188, you have this previous resistance, which was also the gap fill level. You have this resistance here. And if we go into the 1 minute chart into today, I was watching that 1188 in this morning. Again, this was a key level here yesterday and again here. So 1188 was a level that I was very interested in. And when I started to see that hold up this morning, I wanted to do that same washout trade once again early morning today. So if we go ahead and put the gray area back on after hours so we can see when the market opened, it was right here, guys. So a very, very similar washout long opportunity. And you are going to see my trade that I got into. And that was right here today at 940 to 943. It was a 3-minute trade, and I got about 2 points on the contract, so about a $200 win there on Tesla. So entry was 940, which was right here as we started to push out of this hold at 1188. You guys can see a nice 1188 level. We started to push higher off that level. Got in there at 940, and I went ahead and stayed in this trade until I started to see some weakness, which was right here around 943. Got that big push at 943, missed a good amount of this candle, saw this previous wick right here, and just went ahead and jumped out of that trade. So right here, you guys can see a little bit of weakness on this candle, jumped out of that trade at 943, and it was a nice $200 trade. So again, 2 days in a row, washout long opportunities. Tesla historically does this quite a bit, and this is something that I've been watching. So that was my trade there on Tesla. The last one, 945, looked for a 1 minute pullback and then a push higher, and it just sort of rejected on me, and I got out really quickly about a minute later. That was just a little bit of a chase trade there. I thought we'd get more continuation there, but just got caught in a little bit of a rejection. So those are my 2 winners. Those are 2 good trades, 2 good washout long trades. I saw a lot of people take these trades as well. I think a lot of people are watching that same type of washout long opportunity. But now let's go ahead and get into the losing trade, which would have been a beautiful, beautiful setup. Let's go ahead and jump into it now. All right, guys, so on your screen, I have my Discord chat pulled up, and this is where I post all my trades, and this one was the Tesla downside play that I was eyeing. So at 10:15, which on the chart was right around here, right here around 10:15, I was looking for a downside play. I alerted everyone that I was starting to look at it, and I was looking to see if we flush under 1080, I would look for that downside play. Under 1080, I wanted to go ahead and jump into this play, and I jumped into it at 1025. I'm sorry, not at 1025, at 1017. So 1017, I got into an 1100 put for, I think it was about $4, and it was a 107 expiration, and my stop was above 1185. Now, my stop is what sort of messed me up on this trade. My stop loss was just a little bit too tight, and I should have been using my previous key level that I talked about earlier in the day. I was talking about this 1188 level. Instead, I had my stop at 1185, and I unfortunately have learned that 1185 level was just too tight of a stop. I didn't give it enough space, and I did go ahead and get stopped out of this trade at when we got a temporary push above 1185. So I got in at 1017, which was right here as we started to flush below 1080. So I was watching this 1080 level. It was a previous low right here. You guys can see. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom into this. So we had a 1080 level right here, and I was looking for that flush underneath. So at 1017, we got that flush underneath. It did reject on me. It did go ahead and push back higher, but if I had a stop at 1185, which was the highs of these previous candles right here. So I was looking at a range here between 1080 and 1085. I was getting in for the breakdown of 1080, and I had a stop at 1080, or I'm sorry, I keep on saying 1080, 1180, and I had a stop above 1185. Now, what I unfortunately have learned is that 1185 was just a little bit too tight. If I would have gave the stock up to 1188, where I had this previous support that turned into some beautiful resistance, this trade would have been beautiful. What you guys can see is after I got out, I'll go ahead and pull up where I got out. I got out at 1025, which is right here, as Tesla started to push over my 1185 stop loss. So I did respect my stop loss in this situation, which in the long term, in the long run, I am happy that I did stay disciplined and I did take my stop when as according to my plan. Because if I make a plan and I don't stick to it, then I'm just all over the place. I'm not sticking to any type of trading plan, any type of discipline. So in this case, I am happy that I did stop out, but of course, I'm just not happy with the level that I chose as a stop. If I would have given it the right level, which was 1180, 1188, that would have been the right stop loss level, which is right where that previous support was. I keep looking at it and it aggravates me. It keeps on aggravating me because I'm not sure why I did not use that as my stop. So you guys can see, got out for a $54 loss, nothing major, but what's major is the opportunity that I missed out on. So I was right on the trade, and what you guys can see, after getting stopped out here at 1185, this thing just went ahead and plummeted. The contracts that I had, if we go ahead and pull up the Tesla contracts, the contracts that I had were the $1,100 puts. I'll go ahead and pull those up. I think the peak of those were around 30. So if we go to the 1100 puts, the peak of those, I'll go ahead and put them on a chart. So if I go to send to red, and if I go to active trader, turn this to red, we're going to be looking at the peak of these contracts, which was around $20. So I got into them at 1017. 1017, which was right around here. 1017, right around 460, 470. Got out of those for a $50 loss as we started to pull back. And just about 15 minutes after I exited, you guys can see this is what happened on those option contracts. So it definitely pains me a little bit. My idea was right. The breakdown was, exactly what I was looking for, but my stop loss was just a little bit too tight. So it is what it is. I wanted to share this because I think it's a good lesson of focusing on discipline, focusing on, yes, I would have had a nice trade here, but I had a plan coming in and I have to stick to those rules when I get into a trade. If you're not sticking to rules, then, who knows what could have happened. Tesla could have shot back to the upside. A lot of people probably thought Tesla coming into today would pull back and then maybe find some support. And I definitely had that in my head, right? I didn't want to get absolutely demolished on this put option if Tesla goes ahead and decides to run another 10% today. At the time, I don't know if that's going to happen. And I have to stick to those rules so that I don't incur very nasty losses that potentially, take a big chunk out of my portfolio. So sticking to the discipline did help me today. I am able to live another day, trade another day. I actually ended green on the day regardless of this loss, but just a little, just a little bit better of levels, a little bit better of a rejection level and a stop loss today would have gave me a very nice trade here. Overall, I think the key takeaway is good that I stayed disciplined, but work on the levels just a little bit more. Work on what levels is the true rejection level. It wasn't 1180. It wasn't 1185. It was 1188 today, so I was just a few points off. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy me breaking down some of these trades. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up. All right, guys, so that's what I have for you in today's video. 3 trades on Tesla, 2 winners, 1 loser, 2 washout longs, nice opportunities, nice trades, and very good execution. And I like how I scaled out of those trades as we started to push higher. The downside play continues to haunt me today. I'll get over it tomorrow, but today it definitely continues to haunt me. Great setup. Did a good job of recognizing that downside, recognizing that resistance that could come in, but I just was a few points off on my stop, and it did go ahead and stop me out. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to something like this, but I want to let you know that if you stick to your stops, if you stick to your discipline, you will not blow up your accounts. You will be here for another trading day, another opportunity that may be even sweeter than the one that you missed. So keep that in mind. Stay strong. Keep on battling. Whether you missed out on opportunity or not, it is always good to stick to your discipline. It keeps you in the game. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. Press that like button if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you want to stay tuned for more. Make sure to press the bell down below if you want to come to the live streams. And if you're interested in joining the Discord chat, where I trade live every day over voice chat and post all of the trades that I take, make sure to go ahead and check out that link. It is the first in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.